So guys, welcome back to another episode of F1 NewsRound, a series that I never thought of making, if I'm being honest. I mean, we brought you the news last week of course, Nicholas Latifi signing for Williams for 2020. I called it F1 NewsRound just totally there and then, and I thought, do you know what? I think we could make a bit of a series on this, like kind of cover the news that we don't really talk about, and then maybe find some stories that maybe nobody else has covered or will mention in their videos. So, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good idea. And of course, we are back again to cover 4 stories that we have seen this week, 2 by Lyle and 2 by myself. Now, but the first story that we're going to be covering, as you can see by the title, and as you can see by the screen in front of you right now, is we're going to be revealing our new logo for 2020. Now, this was a decision that I've been thinking about for probably about a good few months. It was like, right, okay. I mean, the progress of 2000 of us in 2019 has been extraordinary. It's been so good. We started the year on, I think it was like 350 subscribers, something like that. We're ending it on 1.25 or 1.2 or 1.26k. Well, at time of recording, we're on that anyway. So it's been superb, absolutely superb. So I thought, right, okay, I think we need a brand new look, a brand new design, a brand new, and just to clean everything up, I think, because everything looks it looks okay, but it looks just still a bit amateur and kind of like, okay, create a YouTube channel today or whenever. It doesn't look as modern. It doesn't look as professional, in my opinion, anyway. You guys might think it looks professional, but to me, it doesn't. So I thought, right, let's go to the pros. Let's approach some people and let's see what they can do. And one guy in particular, which I'll mention in a minute, has done an extraordinary job in getting us a new logo, some new graphics, and of course some new social media banners. But without further ado, here we go. This is our 2020 F1 Debate Show logo. And there we have it. A little fade in there. How nice is that? Yeah, so what do you think of it, guys? I think, personally, I absolutely love it. I think it's totally different to what it used to be, of course. I mean, we had the wreath, the star still there in the corner. By the way, guys, the guy who designed the logo was called Lewis Bloomfield, or Bloomy Designs. You might know him. He is on Twitter. Go and follow him on Twitter at Bloomy Designs. I'll leave his link to his Twitter in the description below. So thankful for him for doing this, for doing us the logo as well, just sending us some samples of our logo, of our banners, and of course our graphics, which we will be showing a little bit later on before the end of the year, or even at some point next year, because of course that's for the F1 debate show. But of course the logo, he does design other logos and stuff and graphics for the likes of Sean from the F1 Word, Dan from F1 Reviews, and various others. So massive thank you to Lewis for doing this for us as well. As like I said, go and give him a follow on Twitter. So yes, I'm a big fan of this logo. And like I said before, it's got the little star in the middle of it. And what I was about to mention before was he sent me the logo without the star, and I'm looking at it going, it looks really good. There's just something missing. And I looked at this little area and I was like, I need something there. And I said to him, just put a star in there. And I just want to see what it looks like. Put a star in there. So he got back to us, and I was like, yes, that's it, done. That is the brand new F1 Debate Show logo there. The old one wasn't. That one, yes. Keep the star. Keep something from the old logo, which I designed just quickly on Photoshop, just by getting loads of images from Google and everything else like that. So it looks very professional. Very happy with this. And of course, let us know your opinions about the new logo in the comment section below. And of course, here's our brand new banners for next season, our YouTube and our Twitter ones, so looking forward to be using them for next season. So of course that's like the first kind of story round up. Nothing really major in terms of the Formula 1 news world, but to us it means a great deal of things. So of course thank you so much for Lewis for designing the logo and everything else. Comment for that. But let's hand over to Lyle for some proper news now in the world of Formula 1.
Force India or Racing Point, Sauber or Alfa Romeo. Name changes in Formula 1 can be quite difficult to get your head around, right? I mean, we still don't call Mercedes Brawn. But speaking of Mercedes, the alpha males of Formula 1 in the past few years, as just last season, Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes win the 6th Constructors and Drivers' World Championship respectively. As they might be the alphas, but they won't be on paper. As in 2020, Italian team Scuderia Toro Rosso are looking to change their name to the Red Bull clothing line of AlphaTauri. So this means that Toro Rosso will be the Alphas of next. No, I'm just kidding. Scuderia Toro Rosso was set up in 2006, a year after Red Bull Racing, and they were set up by Dietrich Mateschitz, the CEO of Red Bull Racing, as a sister and a partner team to Red Bull, in a way to train their junior drivers up in Formula One, hoping to get to the big team one day. Of course, we've seen many drivers go through this program and succeed, including Daniel Ricciardo, Danny Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and of course Alex Albon and Max Verstappen. Scuderia Toro Rosso had a great season in 2019, and for the past few years they've been trying to get away from the comparisons to Red Bull Racing. They both have the Red Bull livery on the side of the car, and Toro Rosso even means Red Bull in Italian. Now, this is a provisional change for next year. Of course, the change to Force India came as the departure of Vijay Mallya, the Indian owner of Force India, and of course the arrival of the consortium, which includes Lawrence Stroll, to buy out the team. That's where Racing Point came about. Also, the change of Sauber to Alfa Romeo was when Sauber was also bought heavily and changed from a title sponsor to the main name of the team. AlphaTauri is still linked with Red Bull, so it will still be a Red Bull brand, but of course just a different name. So the change to the provisional 2020 entry list by the FIA stated that AlphaTauri will come in to replace the previous name of Scuderia Toro Rosso, but everything else will stay the same. They have a provisional blue livery on the car. The base will still be in Italy, with a link of course to Spielberg, Austria, the headquarters of Red Bull Racing. The Honda engine will still be retained, and both drivers will also be retained, French driver Pierre Gasly and of course Russian driver Daniel Kvyat. Now Toro Rosso have had 3 drivers this year: Thai British driver Alex Albon, who is now in the Red Bull, Russian driver Danny Kvyat, who's been there all season, and French driver Pierre Gasly, who spent the first half at Red Bull and the second half back at the sister Italian team. They've all had great seasons, with their best finish of 2 podiums, Danny Kvyat in Germany, and quite recently an amazing second place, by Pierre Gasly at the Brazilian Grand Prix. In the last few years they've been trying to get away from Red Bull, and they definitely have been getting some good results. I would say that Russia and Germany and this season was very strong for the Italian team. So this is a provisional change, and I've just taken so long to keep calling them Force India, and I think we're just getting the hang of calling them Racing Point. I think that should be a good move. I'm excited to see an AlphaTauri coming on board, but as we already have an Alfa Romeo, that could be quite tripping over names. I'm expecting people to make a lot of mistakes saying that. I can imagine on the F1 debate show we'll keep tripping over Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri, but we'll have to see. I mean, on my side, I don't say Force India that much, but I know that other people do, especially Kimi Räikkönen in Monaco, which was coming on a year since the team was actually changed names to Racing Point, but we'll have to see. Anyway, so that's the news coming out of Toro Rosso. As I say, an amazing season from them. Great finishes by both Kvyat and Gasly, 2 drivers who have got big futures ahead of them, both retained at AlphaTauri for next year. We'll have to see how the team gets on. So that should be good, and obviously we'll have to wait until February for the revealing of the car, and of course March for winter testing. Which should be set for a good season ahead, 2020, as AlphaTauri, the growing team, getting away from Red Bull but still having ties with 2 drivers who are in the Red Bull Junior program. So it should be good from them, and I'm very excited to see. 2019 was a great season by Toro Rosso, and I can't wait, and maybe one of those can get back to Red Bull.
When you think of Formula One, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it passion? Fast? Cars? Romain Grosjean? Who knows? But I bet one of those options was never going to be fragrance. Perfume. Bit weird, isn't it? Well, turns out Formula One is dipping into that market, because just before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Formula One came out and released a statement saying that they have collaborated with a brand called Designer Parfums, and they're going to be creating a unique fragrance collection which will go on sale in March 2020. Now, for me, this is a bit bizarre, very bizarre, because Formula One, I mean, they are taking a step into the future, if or going off in a completely different tangent. And they're trying to create a brand new name for themselves. But I don't get this one. I really, really don't. I mean, if they can see the potential in this, then brilliant. But I'm a bit confused about this. I don't really understand why they've had to do this for. Well, to be fair, when I tell you the price, you might actually know. So basically, you've got three designs or three 3D printed designs from this unique, rare kind of material. And basically, the designer, Ross Lovegrove, who of course designed all the bottles and everything like that for these fragrances, basically said that he wanted to create something so unique but also so relevant to Formula One. And him himself said that it is still a bit weird that the fact that, well, Formula One doesn't really come to mind when you think of fragrances like Hugo Boss or Ghost, or who actually designed a perfume to actually have a collaboration with. And also, I think Jennifer Lopez and Nicki Minaj come to mind as well. Whenever, and I think they've got deals with designer perfumes. So I think having Formula One in there, it's a bit random, in my opinion. But you get three different types of bottles or types of designs for these certain perfumes. So the first one, you get Agile Embrace. And this is based upon principles of form created from flow. The lines embrace the inner core that contains the heart of the gold plated design. The next one you can get is Fluid Symmetry, and that says derived from the evolving organic lines of the car aerodynamic design. This conception is proof that the physics of the natural forces, in unison with advanced materials, can produce a new form of technological bioaesthetics for the 21st century, made from 3D printed blasted titanium. And the last one you can get is Compact Suspension, a space frame from an exoskeleton with layers that suspend the inner flask inside a 3D printed geometry that is strong and references the engineering of advanced innovated structures. So that's your three designs. I think that the big thing about it though is these bottles. That's the whole these like core like skeleton things that that this guy designed. That's the whole point of these. Like I said, they will go on sale in March 2020. I think they will go online first, and then they'll come to stores worldwide. I believe in April 2020. I think that's what they're doing. But the price tag. Now, if you want to kind of, if you think to yourself, oh, these sound quite good. These sound like Formula One as well. Oh, I might get involved in this. So tell me, Jordan, how much are they going to cost? Are they going to cost me, I don't know, $10? Are they going to cost me $100? Or are they going to be a bit pricey and go, it's Formula One, $1,000? No, 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 no. These bad boys are going to cost $10,000 each. I mean, no wonder that they've got a deal with this. That's outrageous. 10,000. What? Like, are people actually going to buy these? Even if you've got that kind of money? I mean, really? I mean, if I was a multimillionaire, I wouldn't be forking out that much just for these fragrances just because they got Formula One on them. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I could be totally wrong with this. I could be like, oh yeah, Jordan, you're just being over dramatic. But no, that's just ridiculous. £10,000 or $10,000. Sorry. I mean, that's just madness. Absolutely madness. Would you guys buy one of these anyways? Would you fork out £10,000? Dollars. I keep saying pounds. Sorry. Dollars for one of these bad lads, because I certainly wouldn't. But hey, we're all different, aren't we? I think I would rather go with one of these bad lads. I think I had one of these back in the day when I was like a lot younger. I think for like £8.50 or something like that. So I think I'll stick to one of these. But actually, yeah, like I said, would you guys buy one of these? I think it's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me.
In the olden days, when you saw the scarlet red Ferrari, you thought of one name: Marlboro. Marlboro was plastered all over that Ferrari in the mid 80s, 90s, even in the 2000s. I think it was 2007 where it became apparent on the car. Then the next season, it was almost gone, and the barcode started to show up. Shell, Santander, and of course Mission Win Now, which is what we have at the moment. It wasn't just Ferrari as well. We had Rothmans Williams, Laramie McLaren, and so on and so forth. July 1st, 2007 was the ban of tobacco companies in the UK advertising, and as many teams were advertised in the UK, a lot of the advertisements for the tobacco companies came off the car. It was quite bland and very few sponsors came in. But now we might be seeing one more rejoining the Formula One paddock. A company called BAT. Of course, it's nothing to do with Batman. It's nothing to do with full smoking as well. This is an electronic cigarette company which will be coming in 2022 sponsor McLaren. BAT stands for the British American Tobacco Company. Of course, Zach Brown and many of the personnel from McLaren, being American, should be a good fit to the team. So a good title sponsor for McLaren. It's not the biggest sponsor that McLaren have. Of course, Moet Chandon and Coca-Cola will stay as their title main sponsors along with Renault Sport. But it's going to be a big sponsor to McLaren. Zach Brown, of course, the ex-CEO at McLaren, has come out with a statement, him too being American, saying, "Our car design, which will be not revealed until we reveal our race car in February, it looks quite special," said Zach. "I think you'll like what the race car looks like with the various categories that BAT have used on the race car. So I don't want to spoil the debut, but I think it will stay quite impactful and very noticeable on the racetrack." Now, of course, in the olden days of 2008 to 2012, McLaren had a great livery. Silver with Vodafone plastered all over the car. Then it kind of reverted back to a lesser sponsorship. But this year, with the orange and blue impact, some good sponsors including Moet and Chandon and Coca-Cola, with the two drivers of Norris and Sainz, made a good impression for the car and very noticeable to not even Formula 1 fans. So the inclusion of BAT hopefully can add to a better McLaren, and we won't get back to the Laramie McLaren or Marlboro McLaren that we saw back in the 80s and 90s, but hopefully we can get back to a better looking McLaren for everyone in 2020. That, along with the AlphaTauri deal that I just mentioned, should make a good impact. And for the car launches, of course, one of our most favourite parts of the Formula 1 season, it should be a good one for the team based out of Woking.
So there we go then. There is our F1 News Round episode number 2 rounded up. Our 4 stories. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think of our new logo? And of course, what do you think of the stories and your opinions on everything that we have said in this news round? Hope you have enjoyed this episode, and please give us any feedback about the new graphics, anything that was used in this episode, like the new thumbnail, and of course the new look, the new text, and of course the little transition phase. Just let us know what you guys thought of that, and of course we'll put this into practice for next season and hopefully make it a better series for the future. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.